From the moment 16-year-old Jaden Thompson set foot in his new neighborhood, every step felt like a calculation. He didn't say much. He didn't bother anyone. He just walked, headphones on, hoodie off, shoulders back, confident. And that was apparently the problem. The first complaint came 3 days after the Thompson family moved in. A letter, perfect grammar, neatly typed, bold red stamp. Notice of behavioral concern, excessive staring and intimidating body language while walking in public spaces. Jaden blinked at it, confused. Walking too confidently? He whispered. His mother laughed nervously at first. His little sister thought it was a prank. But his dad, Marcus Thompson, didn't laugh at all. He used to work with city planning boards. He knew the type of language that hid prejudice behind politeness. He stared at the paper the way a surgeon stares at an X-ray before a risky operation. "This wasn't a mistake," Marcus said quietly. "Someone wrote this on purpose." The letter came from the Oak Meadows HOA, signed by Mrs. Helen Whitaker, the newly elected president, who was known for phrases like protecting community standards and maintaining neighborhood comfort. Jaden lowered his head, gripping his backpack. "Dad, I'm not dangerous. I just walk home. I'm just tired after school." His father put a hand on his shoulder. "You don't owe anyone a smile," Jaden noticed her the next day while walking home from school. She stood on her porch, arms crossed, eyes narrowed at him like she was taking notes on a criminal. She didn't say a word, but her expression said she believed she owned the sidewalks. Jaden tried to ignore it. His dad warned him, "Just be respectful, don't engage. We'll handle this the right way." But things escalated fast. 2 more letters arrived that same week. Report of aggressive walking pace. Failure to smile when acknowledged by neighbors. The second one felt like a punch in the chest. Marcus held that paper so tightly it shook. "Smile?" he repeated slowly. "A requirement to smile? Prove you're harmless." But the HOA didn't care about logic. Every complaint came with citations from neighborhood standards that didn't actually exist. They were citing rules that weren't written anywhere. That meant someone was making them up. Marcus decided to approach the HOA headquarters, a repurposed home with framed policies hanging on every wall. He politely requested a meeting. Mrs. Whitaker greeted him with a stiff smile. "Mr. Thompson, we simply want everyone to feel comfortable," she said, hands folded like a librarian. "Some residents have expressed concerns about your son's demeanor." "What residents?" Marcus asked. "That information is protected," she said. "Protected?" Marcus repeated. "Jaden isn't a threat. He's just walking." Her smile didn't budge. "Certain behaviors can be perceived as aggressive, and perception matters. The HOA exists to maintain harmony." "Rules should maintain fairness," Marcus replied, "not control people based on assumptions." Her expression twitched for the first time. "And yet," she said, "your son's attitude remains assertive. That makes others uneasy." That word clung to the air like smoke. Marcus leaned forward slowly. "So, confidence makes you uncomfortable?" Her jaw tightened. "That tone, Mr. Thompson," she whispered, "is exactly why we have concerns." Things got worse. Whitaker sent another notice. "Jaden Thompson will be placed on a 30-day observation period. Daily walking behavior will be monitored for community safety and comfort. Observation for walking." The absurdity would have been laughable if it wasn't happening to a child. Neighbors started whispering. Some shook their heads, clearly uneasy but too scared to speak. Others stared at Jaden like he already did something wrong. His mom begged Marcus to let it go, but Marcus looked his wife dead in the eye. "If they can do this to our son for walking, what's next? Breathing too confidently?" The next HOA meeting was packed, more than usual. Rumors had spread. A kid was being monitored, and no one knew why. Mrs. Whitaker sat boldly at the head table with a stack of documents, acting proud, until Marcus stood. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't pound the table. He calmly held up the letters. "I'd like to know where in our community guidelines it states that walking confidently is an offense," he said. Whitaker stiffened. "We are authorized to interpret the rules." "No," Marcus interrupted gently. "You are authorized to enforce written policies, not invent them." Someone in the back murmured, "He's right." Marcus laid the papers on the table one by one. "These notices target my son's emotions, not his actions. You can't legislate someone's personality. You can't force him to smile, slow down, or walk less confidently for your comfort. Comfort does not override civil rights." The room fell silent. Whitaker's face turned rigid. Marcus leaned in. "You are not protecting the community. You are policing black confidence." Gasps broke across the audience. Phones started recording. Whitaker's lips trembled, but before she could speak, a voice called out from the crowd. "That's not the first time she's targeted someone." Another voice. "Yeah, she cited my nephew for standing suspiciously at the bus stop." People began murmuring louder. Eyes turned against Whitaker. The power shifted. She was no longer running the room. She was cornered by truth. Marcus calmly returned to his seat. Jaden's little sister squeezed his hand, beaming with pride. "Confidence is not a threat. Bias disguised as rules is still bias. A community built on fear isn't safe. It's controlled." People began debating change. Some demanded new leadership. Whitaker's composure cracked, and that's when she pulled out something no one expected. A thick folder. She slammed it on the table. "We have evidence of ongoing concerning behavior from the Thompson household, and I'm prepared to show everyone tonight." The crowd gasped. Marcus froze. Jaden whispered, "Dad, what's in that folder?" Whitaker smiled, the kind of smile that meant war. The room fell dead silent as Mrs. Whitaker tapped the thick folder like it was a loaded weapon. Every eye was on her. Every phone camera was recording. She cleared her throat, voice syrupy sweet but shaking underneath. "These documents will prove that the Thompsons are disrupting the harmony of Oak Meadows." Marcus didn't flinch, but his hands tightened around his chair. Jaden could feel his heartbeat pounding in his ears. What could possibly be in that folder? He never did anything except go to school, come home, do his homework, and walk the same route. Whitaker slowly pulled out the first sheet. A printed photo. It was Jaden, standing at the neighborhood entrance, backpack on, waiting for his ride home after practice. That was it, just standing there. Some residents looked confused. Others looked uneasy. Whitaker smiled tightly. This was taken by a resident who felt threatened by his posture. Notice the stance, confrontational, hands clenched. This is aggressive body language. Jaden stared at it in disbelief. "I was just cold," he whispered. "It was windy. My hands were freezing." Marcus stood up calmly. "Are we criminalizing posture now?" A few people laughed under their breath, shaking their heads. Whitaker ignored them and pulled out another print. A screenshot this time. It was Jaden walking past her house at 4:26 p.m. Whitaker circled the area on the paper with a red marker, dramatically. 4 passages in one day. Repeated pacing outside a private residence is grounds for investigation. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "He rides the school bus. The stop is at the corner of your street." A wave of realization rippled across the room. One of the neighbors whispered angrily, "So he's suspicious because he has to walk home from school?" Someone else scoffed, "This is harassment." But Whitaker spoke louder, trying to drown the room. "This is a matter of community safety." The HOA vice president, Mr. Arnold Greeley, cleared his throat and stood up. He was the type who always wore golf shirts and sunglasses indoors. He raised his hand dramatically. "I can confirm seeing him loiter in front of Mrs. Whitaker's house more than once. He walks slowly, eyeing properties like he's surveying them. The room murmured, some leaning forward, others rolling their eyes. Jaden swallowed. I walk slow when I'm tired. I carry a backpack full of textbooks. Marcus turned to Greeley. And how long did you watch a child walk, Mr. Greeley? Greeley stuttered. I just noticed unusual movement. Marcus stepped forward. Or you watched him because you assumed he didn't belong here. Silence. A few heads nodded. Whitaker's face reddened with frustration. She slammed the folder shut. Whether you agree or not, we are voting to place this family under strict community supervision for 90 days. Gasps broke out. Phones were raised again. A woman in the back yelled, "That's illegal!" But Whitaker smirked. Only if we lose. Before she could call for votes, the meeting room door opened. A woman in a crisp navy blazer walked in, holding a leather laptop bag. She strode confidently to the front, ignoring Whitaker's ordered whisper shouts of, "Ma'am, this meeting is in progress, you can't..." The woman flashed a badge. Whitaker's eyes widened. Marcus looked just as shocked as everyone else. Jaden whispered, "Dad, you hired a lawyer?" Marcus shook his head slowly. "No, I don't know her." Attorney Carter faced the room. "I was invited here by a resident who witnessed harassment, someone who knew this was going too far." The crowd leaned in. "Who invited her?" Whitaker swallowed hard. "Well, this is irregular." Carter laid a stack of documents on the table. "What's irregular is falsely creating rules to target a minor. If you proceed, you'll be violating state anti-discrimination laws and coercion statutes." Cameras zoomed in. Whitaker's confidence cracked like thin glass. Carter turned toward the crowd. "And I have proof." Whitaker attempted to snatch the documents, but Carter slid them away smoothly. "These contain internal HOA messages showing prejudice disguised as policy." The room exploded into whispers. Jaden's heart raced faster. If that was true, Whitaker could lose her position. Maybe more. But Carter wasn't done. "Before I show them publicly, I need the person who sent them to come forward." The room went silent again. Everyone looked around. Jaden's eyes darted from neighbor to neighbor. Finally, a hand slowly raised in the back. Someone stood up, and the entire room gasped.